But again, I just don't take these people seriously on anything that they're saying, just simply because, number one, they typically don't support Kamala Harris, who is objectively better for Palestine than versus Trump. And number two, they will, like, again, not go after the Chinese for genociding the Uyghurs. Leftist content creators have been calling CPS on Ethan Klein's kids. Ethan Klein swears to go scorched earth. Noah Samsen, one of these left-leaning content creators, have made a hit piece video on Ethan Klein and other people that are adjacent to Destiny. And now, after all of these content creators have responded, Noah Samsen, 2 weeks later, would make a video that is released 14 hours ago as of now, called "The Genocide Supporting YouTubers Responded."
Since I released my video, The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide, there have been some developments. Ethan Klein responded to the video with an Instagram story shortly after its release, where he wrote, "God, these bread tubers are such pathetic fucking rats. When the fuck did I ever support a genocide? I criticize your idol Hassan, and you all resort to straight up character assassination and horrific lies. A campaign which resulted in the CPS call and harassment like I've never experienced in my 15 years on YouTube. Fuck you and fuck your movement. Socialism deserves better representatives." Soon after this post, Ethan brought my video up during his live show where he threatened to sue me.
So this fucking little scumbag here who put me and Mudahar, Turkey Tom, and Destiny in a thumbnail and said the YouTubers who backed a genocide. This is fucking disgusting. And I'm not okay living in this world where these little fucking punk ass scumbags can just say it. Sounds pretty defamatory. And again, I'm not taking any prisoners. If my attorney thinks there's anything in here, if he thinks that there's like a decent shot of defamation, I'm suing this fucking piece of shit. It's little
genocide, which is, you know, actually supporting genocide. I can't imagine that it's pleasant.
Wow, I hope that there's actually going to be examples of Ethan Klein supporting genocide. Because as far as I'm concerned, Ethan Klein doesn't actually support genocide, but okay. And for another, genocide is not something everybody agrees on is a label for what's happening in Gaza. I remember when I was confronting President Sunday about this one day, and I said, do you think that these people actually think that what's happening in Palestine is a genocide? Do you think that Destiny would support what he's saying if what's happening in Palestine is actually a genocide? And, you know, these people, they can't bring themselves to actually answer the question because they know that these people don't even recognize it as a genocide in the first place. And I'm not saying it from a perspective of like, oh, it's actually a genocide and they're denying that it's a genocide, right? That's not true. No official sources have said that what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. There's no evidence for this. There's no backing or proof for this. So yeah. Spoilers, didn't watch the vid, but Ethan isn't pro-genocide. Also, Quibbles is in the waiting room. Psych, got you again. Well, you see, I finished your whole comment before checking, so yeah.
To be confronted with the idea that you might be... You're gonna kill everyone?
Yes! You guys are animals. You guys are f***ing animal terrorists.
You killed 10,000 kids.
10,000 kids that would grow up to be the next... 10,000 kids that would grow up to be the next terrorist.
Really?
Because it's Palestine,
But I'm Palestinian. Does that mean I'm a terrorist?
Yes.
I'm a terrorist. Do you want Palestinians in Gaza to die?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Again, I just want to say, like, the examples that he is using for this are, like, just random ass kids. All right? Not state officials. Not anybody. Jesus, these are random ass kids, dude. But okay.
Oh my god.
We've seen all of this, which is why the whole "no, I didn't" defense doesn't hold up, because, you know, yes, you did. We have you on video during this genocide that everyone plucked directly from the US State Department, the #1 material support.
Okay, there are more because population grows over time. If there was a genocide, you would see the population going down. You wouldn't see the population going up. It wouldn't be so population dense. All right? If there was a genocide this entire time where the population was going down, but okay.
Order of the genocide.
Terrorist groups.
We have you on video attacking and delegitimizing the most prominent media figures in the YouTube space who have been advocating against the genocide and breaking down the propaganda used to justify it.
Hassan Love.
Wow. Okay, so we're bringing Hassan up as somebody who is like a prominent voice for being anti-genocide. All right. Okay, I guess that's where the standards are now, but okay.
All terrorists.
Well, Hassan doesn't care about Ukrainians being genocided. Well, again, even for that one, I wouldn't even say there's enough evidence. Well, I mean, there's a lot of evidence already, but like even then, I wouldn't say there's enough evidence for me to say certainly that there is a genocide going on. However, at the same time, there has been at least one occurrence of genocidal action. Like, for example, Butcha, I don't know about Butcha, but like the kids being taken away, kidnapped in order to grow up in Russian families, that is one of the guiding lines of genocide, yeah. Also, you know what's funny? Is that these people, again, and say this again and again and again and again, and never let them forget about it, okay? But China is genociding Muslims, okay? China wants to get rid of Muslims. China isn't just driving Xinjiang Muslims out, okay, the Uyghurs, all right, out of Xinjiang. What they are doing is that they are actually re-educating, raping, pushing out, renaming, erasing the culture there. Okay? And when I think about it, it makes my blood boil. Because my family, my parents defend the Uyghur genocide. So the fact that these leftists are unwilling to criticize China for something like this is reprehensible. A lot of pushback against these countries and their actions is because, well, they're anti-America. They're anti-United States. So they must be correct. We're not going to talk about the Bosnian Muslims. We're not going to catch Chomsky talking about the Bosnian Muslims. We're not going to see... We're not going to see Hassan talk this hard about, by the way, also Muslim, right? The Xinjiang Muslims, right? Because I'm going to tell you, if I could only just ask Hassan one question, it would be this. Is China currently...
It's a beautiful place, it is. It's one of the most...
Is China currently genociding Muslims? Is China currently genociding the Uyghurs? That's the question I would ask. And even so now, I have always been sympathetic to Palestinians myself. If you were to ask me on my views about Palestine, actually voice out about it, then yeah, I totally get down with the Palestinians, yo, all right, as the kids say. But again, I just don't take these people seriously on anything that they're saying, just simply because, number one, they typically don't support Kamala Harris, who is objectively better for Palestine than versus Trump. And number two, they will, again, not go after the Chinese for genociding the Uyghurs. If anything, these are the kinds of people who would actually deny the genocide, who would deny the Uyghur genocide. I have seen tankies and leftists deny the Uyghur genocide, all right? So because of these two reasons, these guys are deeply unserious people when it comes to genocide, deeply unserious. The only reason that they don't condemn the Uyghur genocide is because America doesn't donate arms to China as much as America donates arms to Israel. That's the reason why they don't actually condemn it, is because they see this as another opportunity to say America bad. They see this as another opportunity to show, oh yeah, look at these American imperialists try to arm Israel and try to bomb brown people when brown people are literally being systematically wiped out in other parts of the world where there's more credible evidence of genocide rather than reckless bombing or reckless attacks, right? Other attacks that also result in babies being killed and women being raped and men being re-educated. So I don't want to hear any of this from any of these like random ass white guys who pretend that they give a fuck about marginalized communities when really the only consistent thing that they've ever been consistent on is whenever America is involved in a conflict, it's automatically like the most important, horrible issue in the world. Because the moment America is involved, then they suddenly have a huge focus on it, because ultimately it's not a movement that's based on love for Palestinians. It's not a movement that's based on trying to save people from a genocide. It's a movement that's based on hate. It's a movement that's based on hate. The pro-Palestinian movement in America and in the West is a movement that's based on hate. Hate of two things: Jewish people and America. That's what they're hating. It's a hate movement. That's what the pro-Palestinian movement is in America. They don't care about Palestinians. Because if they did, they would also talk about how other Arabic countries could be taking in Palestinians, but they don't. They're not, no. Other countries could be taking in the population, but they're not. So again, I don't want to hear this bullshit about caring about Palestinians and caring about brown people, when really the only consistent messaging at the expense of all political effectiveness, at the expense of the rest of us, and the expense of everything that is good on this earth, is America bad? Like, this ain't it, chief, as they say. So yeah, no, like, yeah, this is all fucking bullshit. Fuck that shit. Okay. All right, let's move on. I think we're about to end the video, so yeah.
Updates on Israel's genocide, which is a lot of people. The media is not covering it. They weren't covering it a lot before, but over the past 17 months, that coverage has dwindled, scaling up and running the channel as a platform, but a non-profit, so that I can just cover more things more consistently and not have to choose between, you know, a US-backed child massacre and Ethan Klein. But until then, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Regardless, it doesn't matter what you think of these creators. It's
or maybe you could try to dedicate your life to the cause and travel to Palestine, travel to Gaza. Have you ever tried that? It can make for really good content. You're putting your life at risk, but you are doing journalism for journalists' work. And I would respect you a whole lot more. And I bet Ethan Klein would also respect you a whole lot more. Instead, you're living in the safety of your own home, not putting your life at risk, and grifting. So, yeah, all of these like breadtuber, left-tuber types who say that they're pro-Palestine, they are all like grifters or grossly misinformed. So, yeah, again, like these guys are pathetic.